Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We're so excited that you're here to learn about new student orientation with us. My name is Jessica Criswell. I'm one of the assistant directors in new student orientation.
My name is Sarah Catherine Lucas. I'm a student coordinator for New Student Orientation.
Oops, sorry, we forgot to advance that one. So just a little bit about new student orientation and what you can get excited for and what you can expect when you come to visit us this summer. So new student orientation is a program that we host for all undergraduate new students coming to NC State. So regardless of your college or your major, you can expect to come to one of our programs over the summer. There's a lot of really great and fun, exciting things that we have planned for you at orientation. You'll get to connect with other students. You'll get to learn more about your academic program. You even get to stay overnight in one of our residence halls here on campus, which is Burgaw Residence Hall, which is one of our suite style learning or living facilities here on campus. Sarah Catherine, what were some of your favorite things about orientation?
I think my favorite thing was probably getting to know my orientation leader. They're a really good resource for y'all new students. They have a lot of information that can be helpful, and it's just kind of exciting to get to know like someone who's actually at the college already. And then also, I think the evening activities are a lot of fun. There's a whole array of things that'll be going on, but you get a chance to learn more about what we represent as a university here at NC State, our values, our beliefs, and you get a chance to kind of just relax with the new students you've met and have fun after a day of lots of information. So.
And one of the things we're most excited about for the 2014 orientation summer is that we get to be in our brand new student union facility, the Tally Student Union. So we're super excited to be able to welcome you into our campus community and show you some of the great and awesome things that we have happening here on campus. So you heard Sarah Catherine mention a little bit about the OLs. Do you want to tell everyone who our OLs are?
Sure. So we have a team of 40 orientation leaders this summer, or OLs. They come from a lot of different backgrounds, whether it's the college they're in or the town or city they're from, lots of different experiences. So it's a really great group, and they're really there to just help you guys along the way and give you guys the information and answer any questions you may have, as well as to just welcome you to the university and let you meet some students that we have here.
So every student who comes to new student orientation will be put into a small group, which is a group of about 15 to 20 new students who are all together within the same college. And every orientation leader has a small group. So Sarah Catherine was an orientation leader 2 years ago, so she got to have lots of different small groups as she went through being an orientation leader. What were some of your favorite parts about having that small group of new students?
My favorite part was definitely getting to see how excited all of the new students are and getting to meet all of them. It's really fun to get to welcome you guys to the university and to hear everyone's like what they're most excited about or what they're concerned about. So that was my favorite part, I think, was just meeting everyone.
Awesome. So something for you to look forward to when you come to orientation this summer. So a little bit more about the actual logistics of the program, because you might be wondering, when is orientation? When do I need to make these plans to come? So all of our sessions are based on the college that you've been admitted into. So whether it's the College of Engineering, College of Design, College of Natural Resources, or any of our other great academic programs here at NC State, we've got them all dedicated to specific dates. So based on the size of the college, there may be one session or there may be 5 or 6 sessions that you could choose from. When you log into your WolfPaw account to register for orientation, you will see all of the available dates there pop up for you, and then you can choose from one of the dates that's available for your college. They are beginning at the end of June and running through the entire month of July with a small break around the 4th of July so that everyone can enjoy that holiday. And then it is a full day and a half experience. So you'll come to campus around 8 a.m. to check in the first day of orientation. The program runs until about 10 o'clock that night. Then you get to stay overnight in Burgaw, and then the next morning we start again at 8 a.m. with the program ending about noon. We make sure that we tell you this now so that if you need to make accommodations for travel in terms of flying or train or bus or however you might be getting here to us, you take that into consideration when you're going through and making your arrangements to come and join us this summer. We do invite your parents and family members to come to orientation with you as well. We have a concurrent program, so it's a program that runs at the exact same time as new student orientation for all of our new first-year students. But we want to make sure that we include your parents and family members in our Wolfpack community, so we've got a separate program for them. There are some sessions that overlap, and there are also some sessions that are different. It's $100 per family, so if mom and dad want to come, or if you have grandparents or whoever is a part of your support system to help make sure that you're successful here at NC State, is welcome to join you for that program. To make sure that those guests come with you, you want to register them when you make your new student orientation registration. You'll just add them as a guest in the system when you make your registration. There is a separate payment process, but make sure that you add them as a guest so that they're included and that we're prepared and ready for them when they come to orientation with you. So in terms of actually how to register for new student orientation, the first thing we want to know is, have you paid that advanced enrollment deposit yet? Once you've made that, you are ready to go and make your new student orientation registration. If you haven't made that payment yet, you want to make sure and go ahead and do so at your earliest convenience. It does take a couple of days for that payment to be processed, and once that's happened, you can then log into your WolfPaw account and make your orientation registration. So you want to use that credentials that you've got for your WolfPaw. You can see on our screen we've got the little arrow that indicates where you can go to find the orientation tab. It will show the available sessions like we just talked about in terms of when your college is hosting a session, and then again, making sure that you register your guests at the same time.
So what do you need to do to prepare for orientation once you've registered? The first thing you should do is review your new student orientation confirmation email. So as soon as you've registered for a session, you should be getting that email. It'll have the confirmation of the session you signed up for, as well as some information that you want to look over before you get here. You should also go ahead and go to our NCSU New Student Orientation website. That has a lot of important information on it for you all, things you're going to want to make sure you've covered before you get here. And then one of the most important things is that you take your placement tests. So there are math placement tests that all of you will need to take. There's also chemistry placement tests. Those aren't required for everyone, but if you think you're going to need to be taking chemistry at any point, we recommend that you go ahead and take those. Those tests are due by May 21st. And then we also have foreign language placement tests, but if you're going to be taking those, you won't do those until you get to orientation. So you don't have to worry about those before orientation.
So don't worry, that was a lot of information that Sarah Catherine gave you, but again, it's all on our website, so you don't have to worry. And in fact, I'm going to go show you another tool right now. We've got our new student checklist, which is a comprehensive list of all the things that new students need to complete to be ready to start their classes in the fall, which is actually August 20th is the first day of classes. So if you go to newstudents.ncsu.edu, you'll find the checklist there, and you can see the things that you do during the different phases of being a new student at NC State. So once you've paid your advanced enrollment deposit, making sure that you're registered for orientation, that you're taking those placement exams like Sarah Catherine just talked about, making those housing decisions, if you want to live on campus, making sure that you get that application in. All of those good things are covered on this list to help make sure that you're on track and ready for success when you come here in August.
So we have a lot of social media resources that you all can use. We have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, and we also have a hashtag, which is hashtag NCState18 for the class of 2018, you all. And we really encourage you guys to go ahead and follow or add those things, because we're going to be posting lots of fun information on them throughout the remainder of the year and the summer, and as well as some information that you guys might want to see. We also have a mailing address, which you can see, and we also have an email address if you need to get a hold of us that way as well. And something really exciting that we're doing is we're having all of our orientation leaders blog. So that blog address is at the bottom of the screen, and We just released our first blogs yesterday, I believe, today. So we're really excited about it, and we hope you all will check those out. They've got some great tips for everyone, and stories and advice and all sorts of good stuff in them. And we're going to continue releasing those throughout the remainder of the year and this summer as well, and I guess into next school year probably.
Yeah, lots of information to share, so it takes a little bit of time to get that all to you. Something else you'll see on the screen is a photo of an app that we use here called Guidebook. And this is a tool that's like an online schedule builder. So it'll have everything in there that you would need or want to know for orientation. And it allows for you to build your own schedule, because there are times during orientation where you get to pick and choose what you want to learn. And so it gives you an opportunity to check out all of the programs and events that are going to be going on before you come to orientation, to get an idea of what you can expect and what you can get excited to learn about while you're here too. So kind of some big takeaways from what we've shared with you today. Obviously, we've got Mr. Wolf up there who wants to make sure that you're tagging everything that you do in social media with NC State 18, because we're excited that you're a new part of our community. But make sure that you register for orientation. This is a very, very important thing for you to do to help make sure that you're ready for classes and that you're ready to go for being a new student here in the fall. You want to review that new student checklist to make sure that you haven't missed anything important, like taking care of those immunizations or making sure that you've got your health insurance waiver submitted. All of those kinds of things that may not occur to you as you're getting ready. We want to make sure that we prepare you and that you've got that list so that you can make sure you're good to go. Making sure that you check your email regularly. You're going to be getting a lot of communication from us and from other departments on campus about opportunities and expectations as you prepare over the next couple of months. That email address that's on file with admissions is how we will communicate with you in terms of sending you information that you'll need to know for orientation. It's where you'll get a confirmation email from us. You also get an email a week or two before you come to orientation with information in there about where do you park, what do you need to make sure that you bring with you so that you have a productive visit here to campus. And then lastly, we really want to make sure that you're excited. We are so pumped that you're going to be here, and we're counting down the days until new student orientation begins. We're at just over 2 months at this point, so hopefully you're just as excited as we are and you can join us in the countdown and get excited for your visit to your new home, your new community, and getting to meet some new people in your college environment. We do want to make sure that we have some time to open up for questions that you may all have for us. I know that you all have access to a chat, so if you've got questions, go ahead, take a moment, type them into the forum for us, and Sarah Catherine and I will hang tight and make sure that we answer those for you. Okay, so Kaylee, sorry if I said your name incorrectly, wants to know a little bit more about placement tests. So Sarah Catherine mentioned before, and just to reiterate, there are a couple of different placement exams for you to take. Some happen prior to new student orientation and some happen while you're here. Sarah Catherine, do you want to talk about the ones that happen before they come to orientation again?
Sure. I would just say I think I remember coming in as a new student and being worried about having to take the placement test so quickly and not feeling like I had a lot of time to necessarily prepare for it. But that's kind of the purpose of it, is you're not expected to go and cram for the placement test. They want to see where you're really at, so that you're not thrown in over your head and placed in a class that's too advanced, or so that you're not thrown into a class and you're bored because it's too easy. So it's really just to gauge where you are as you are right now. So don't stress out about them. It's going to be fine no matter where you place. So, and yeah,
Yeah, so making sure that if you go to the new student checklist and you find where the information is about the placement tests, you'll find a chart or a bunch of text that will help direct you into figuring out if you need to take those placement exams. The two that you should look at prior to coming to orientation are the chemistry placement exam and the math placement exam. So if you look at that list, you can kind of see if that's something that you need to do. And if you've got questions, you can always contact your college for more information. But you will have the opportunity to take the foreign language placement exam when you're at orientation. If pursuing a foreign language is something that you're interested in doing, we offer that on the afternoon of day one. And like Sarah Catherine said, again, that's just something that you don't need to worry about studying or doing a lot of test prep for. It's truly to learn where your abilities are and to help place you into the right class. Sarah Catherine, do you want to talk to us a little bit more about some of the favorite things that you still remember from your orientation experience?
Sure. As a new student?
As a new student.
Okay.
Taking it back 2 years ago.
Wow. I think I remember coming in at the very beginning of the day, and I felt really overwhelmed. Like, I came from a very small school before NC State, and as you all probably know, NC State is big. I remember I was nervous, as I think most people are coming to their orientation. And then as soon as I got into my small group that Jessica was talking about earlier, that you'll have with an orientation leader, I felt a lot more comfortable, and it was really, really great to get to meet the students in my group. And in all honesty, I still know at least half of the students that I went through orientation with. So that's really cool that I've been able to keep up with those people after 2 years of being here. So that was nice because it just adjusted me to being at NC State for my first time. And once I had that smaller group, I like warmed up and it was a lot better. And the rest of the day, it was a lot of fun. I remember I loved getting to see the campus. Your orientation leaders are all great tour guides. So if you're walking around and you want to know what a building is, or you want to know like what the area you're in and on campus is mostly used for, feel free to ask them. I'm sure they'll love to inform you guys on all of that. And that was probably one of my favorite parts, though, was getting to actually see the campus because I hadn't been here a lot before orientation. What else did I love? Let's see. I really, really did love going through the evening activities. The orientation leaders work really hard putting together some fun and informative presentations for you all. And as a new student watching them, it was fun. It gets you really excited about being here, and you'll learn, oh, this was definitely one of my favorite parts. You get to learn some of the NC State cheers and songs and things you'll be using at our athletic events, and everyone's usually really excited about that. So that was really fun to get to learn some of the traditions and spirits that the school has, because something you'll learn when you come here if you don't know already is we're really, really big on our traditions here at NC State. So it was really neat to kind of get to learn those and see those firsthand, and it makes you start to feel like more of a part of the Wolfpack and like it's getting to be your home. So.
Mm-hmm. And we're here for you during orientation. We expect that you have a lot of questions when you come here. We've got the orientation leaders who are a great resource to be able to answer those questions and to help reassure you. We know that it can be overwhelming, like Sarah Catherine said, to come into this community that may be a lot bigger than where you're from. But everyone has a place here at NC State, and so we want to make sure that we do what we can to educate you about all the awesome opportunities that the NC State community has to offer to you. There's all sorts of clubs and majors that you can find to help get yourself engaged with something that's of interest to you. And so we want to do what we can to help foster that environment and show you more what our community has to offer you as a new student.
And there really is, that's one thing that I want to make very known, is that even though we're a big university, there is a place for everyone here. And although it's a large campus and a large university, you quickly learn that you tend to be in a smaller area, like you form communities, and it doesn't feel so large after you realize that. And like Jessica was saying, there is a club or organization for everything here. And if you by chance can't find one, which I would be shocked, but if you can't find one that you want, you can start it. So there's something for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And there are a couple of different ways that you can find and learn more about those student organizations. There will be a session at orientation called Finding Your Place, which is hosted by Student Involvement, which is an office that we have here on campus that kind of oversees all of the different organizations here on campus. So you'll have an opportunity to connect with different folks from the Student Involvement office, but there's also a lot of different events during Wolfpack Welcome Week, which our office also hosts, which is 10 days of awesome experiences and programs that are going on around campus where you can get engaged with some of those things that you might be interested in. Like Sarah Catherine said, there's all sorts of different opportunities. So you can always look forward to when you move into your residence hall in August, getting to participate in Wolfpack Welcome Week. There's Campus Crawl is probably one of the biggest organization fairs that happens, and it happens during Wolfpack Welcome Week. There are tables set up with individuals from organizations, and it runs all over campus, physically all over campus. And you can just walk and let people know if you're interested in joining their organization. You can get information more on what they do and what they can offer, and just find all sorts of new ways that you may have never imagined that exist for getting involved on campus. Have you been to Campus Crawl, Sarah Catherine?
I did. I went my first year as a student here. It's pretty awesome. Like she said, there's tables set up. It's all along campus, and it's neat. You get not only do you get to learn about new organizations and talk to students who are in those organizations, but you also get a lot of free stuff. So can't hurt to have a few extra T-shirts. But no, it is really awesome to get to learn about the organizations, and that actually is where I learned about a few of the ones that I ended up getting involved in. So.
And some of the events that our office helps host during new student orientation is we've got one event called Wolfpack Wandering, where we will be available and out at different places around campus to help support you as you wander around campus and find where your classes are going to be for that very first day and first week. Because we know it's a big campus and some of the building names sound the same. We want to make sure that you feel good to go for that first day of classes and that you know where your buildings and your classrooms are. So you can look forward to Wolfpack Wandering. We also have an event for students who may be commuting to campus. We've got a commuter student welcome, and then we also have an out-of-state student welcome. So for any of our folks out there who are coming to us from places other than North Carolina, we hope that you'll come to one of those welcomes and get to know more of your peers. You might find someone who's from your state and you can coordinate some travels home together, or just have somebody that you can share in the joys of your home state with.
And while we're talking about that, Wolfpack Welcome Week, just to mention Guidebook one more time, that's another thing that Guidebook has a guide for. So I really encourage you all to download that because it's very helpful not only for orientation but also for Wolfpack Welcome Week when there's just so many events going on, and you can be sure and look at all your options and pick what you want to go to.
Again, if you've got any questions that Sarah Catherine and I can answer for you, please go ahead and type those into the chat box. We want to make sure that we can get to your questions, that everyone feels good to go with the knowledge of what they need to do to come to new student orientation, the registration process, what you can expect from us the day of, when you're here, and everything that kind of helps you get prepared now that you are thinking about coming to NC State or maybe having committed to coming to NC State. We want to make sure that you've got everything that you need to be successful. All right, so we have a question from Judy. It says, I want to change my major. Will I be able to attend a different orientation than my current major that's listed? That's a great question, Judy, so thanks for bringing that up. So in terms of majors, if you would like to change your major, then you can email admissions before June 1 and request a change of major. Please know in advance that maybe not all requests will be able to be accommodated because some of the programs do have different criteria of admissions that they request for students, but you can shoot them an email and see if that's a possibility. After that June 1 date, no requests can be made and you will need to attend the college that you have been admitted into. If your request is honored, then everything will go through in the system and you'll be able to come to the new college that you have been admitted into and then would come to that orientation session where your college fits into. It's okay if you are considering changing your major. There's a lot of really great programs here at NC State. There's a lot of great academic opportunities, and it's okay if you don't know what you want to do or if you're considering something other than what you were opted into. We want to make sure that you feel like you've got a chance to explore and learn all of the different things that you could potentially do. So it happens. If you're in the same boat as Judy, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you email admissions and have that request of major change. Yeah, please.
Just to add something to that, if by chance it doesn't work out for you to change your major as well, it's okay. Like you will be able to change it eventually. So if for some reason it wasn't to work out before your first year, a lot of what you do your first year is take general education courses anyways. So it's not necessarily going to put you behind if you're not in the major you want your first year. You're still going to have plenty of time to change that major if that's what you still want to do.
Something that kind of piggybacks along with that change of major is you may want to know a little bit about the course registration process, because that is a component that's often affiliated with orientation. And so just to take a moment and kind of talk about that. So our colleges may go about the registration process different than one another. We do have some programs and some colleges that are what we call self-registration, where they will reach out to you before you come to orientation and work with you to select those classes based on your program, your major, and get you into those classes prior to coming to orientation. Some of our other colleges do the advising and registration piece when you are here at orientation. So you actually sit down with an advisor and have that conversation and learn more about the different opportunities that are available based on, the options that make sense for your program. Sarah Catherine, which process did you go through when you came here?
I did registration at orientation.
What was that like?
I thought it was exciting and fun. You have orientation leaders and advisors there to help you pick classes that are going to work for you, and to help you get through the registration labs. It can be a little stressful and overwhelming, but there's a lot of people there to help you, and a lot of times, you learn that you don't have to have your schedule perfected when you come here. It's really just a chance to show you how to create your schedule, what kinds of things you need to have in your schedule, how many hours you need, all of that information. And then you can mess with your schedule for the rest of summer. I'm still messing with my schedule right now and rearranging things. And it's not expected for you to have everything in stone when you leave orientation. So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. And when Sarah Catherine says messing with your schedule, that means within the confines of the conversation that you've had with your advisor. You don't want to totally scrap everything that you and your advisor have decided on. Maybe it's finding a different time of the class that you've discussed. So think about that. You can always have conversations with your advisor either before or when you get here. There's a lot of different times. Your advisors are great resources for you. It's not just somebody to help you pick your classes. They really want to make sure that you're finding a path here at NC State that you find fulfilling and is what you're wanting to do when you're here. So helping you pick those classes and find ways to get engaged on campus that really help you build that NC State experience that you're looking for. We would love more questions if you've got them for us today. Sarah Catherine is a wealth of knowledge, having been a current student. So if you've got questions, she's a great person to pick her brain and see what it's like to be a student here at NC State. Some of you may be wondering, if you look at the schedule of when our orientation sessions are and You can't attend your session because you may be out, on an experiential trip. Maybe you're doing a service project this summer or something. You want to make sure that you contact our office immediately if you're unable to attend your orientation session, and we will work with you to find an approach to get you here to orientation that's the best fit for you. Looks like we've got a question from Michael. It says, how hard are the general education classes? Do people get good grades in them? Sarah Catherine, that's all you.
Okay. I would say for the most part, how hard or what grade you get is really up to you. I know that sounds cliche, but it's 100% true. It's really how much effort you want to put into any class, whether it's the general education classes and introductory classes or a 400 level class. It really comes down to if you're going to class, if you're taking notes, if you're studying those notes, if you're studying for tests. And then also they are general education classes, so they're usually in the 100 200 level, so it's not going to be the same caliber of taking like a 400 level class. However, they're still going to take work, and it's still going to be up to the student to put that time in, so it's really just relative to you.
And there's a lot of great academic support services here on campus. If you ever find yourself, whether it's in a general education class or any class that's here at NC State, the first thing we always encourage students to do is go and talk to the professor. They are a phenomenal resource, and they all have office hours, which is the time that they're there in their office and available for students to come by and have conversations with them, whether it's you're interested in the research that they're doing or you're struggling with something in class. They're available to have those conversations with you during their office hours. There's also offices on campus dedicated solely to providing you with support. One of the biggest ones being the Undergraduate Tutorial Center. They host SI sessions, which are supplemental instruction sessions. So do you want to talk a little bit about those, Sarah Catherine?
Yeah. I would say with SI sessions, is that the group? Yeah. Okay, sorry. With SI sessions, you can go to group tutoring sessions. So you basically attend an orientation that is for the UTC, the Undergraduate Tutorial Center, before using any of their services, and you get to decide if you want to do SI sessions where you're getting tutored by a group, or if you would prefer to have individual tutoring. And with the individual tutoring, you can sign up to do it with the same tutor every time, or you can do it, and that's when it's going to be weekly, and you're going to have a scheduled time every week that you're going to go. And then, or you could also do it so that you're going to have a different tutor every time, maybe, or maybe you'll have the same one. It's just kind of up in the air if you choose to do it where you're scheduling it as needed. So if you think that you're struggling a little bit and you might need help, but you don't feel like you need help to the extent that you're going to have stuff to go over every single week, that other option is really good. I've never done an SI session, although I hear that they're really helpful for students who like to work with groups and like to kind of form like study sessions with friends and stuff like that. It doesn't work well with my learning style, but for people who do work well in that setting, those are really, really great resources. And then if you work better one-on-one, the other tutoring options are great resources too. But definitely take advantage of the UTC. It's included in your student fees already, and it's so rare to get tutoring. I mean, it's not free because it's included in your student fees, but essentially, it's rare to get tutoring that you're already paying for. So definitely take advantage of that while you're here. It can be a really big help.
Mm-hmm. And don't let the idea of tutoring sway you. A lot of people feel that needing or wanting the assistance of a tutor or a supplemental instruction means that you're not getting the material or that it's not something you're proficient in. A lot of people who still continue to excel in those courses just want it to be able to continue to make sure that they really have a good grasp on that information and that they're asking for help to make sure that they truly succeed. So there's a lot of classes that may be challenging for some people and not challenging for others. But we want to make sure that everyone feels supported and has the tools that they need to get those A's in those classes. And so asking for help for a tutor is not a bad thing. So don't let that misconception come with you to here. Y'all have had some great questions. If you've got more, Go ahead and type them into the chat box here for us. We've got another question here from Michael. Do classes tend to have group projects or are they usually individual projects? It's a great question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I feel like I'm saying the same thing to both your questions, but it does depend on the class and the teacher and what they prefer to do. But I have had classes where I've had group projects and I've had classes where I've had individual projects. I will say group projects, at least I've only been here for 2 years now, but up to this point they do seem pretty common. I've had maybe 4 so far. And sometimes you'll even have group papers, which was a very new concept to me coming to college. I'd never had anything like that in high school. But it's an interesting experience. It's good practice to work with a group. So it just depends on the class, but you'll know at the beginning of the year most likely if you're going to have group or individual projects when you get your syllabi. That's another thing that's a little different at college is that you'll be given a syllabi for every class, most likely on the very first day of class. If not, it'll be emailed to you before class even begins. And you'll see all of the assignments that are expected of you throughout the year, as well as tests and quizzes, and it's basically your entire course schedule that you get at the beginning. So you can see that information as soon as you sign up for your classes.
Mm-hmm. Great mention of the syllabus. Those are really important. All right, Michael, you are on a roll. So the question is, what is a common course schedule for an engineering major if you would know that? I have not ever been a student here, and Sarah Catherine is not in the College of Engineering. So unfortunately, we can't answer that question specifically for you about what an engineering major looks like in terms of, what your classes might be. But I will go ahead and share with you that a lot of students who are coming into the College of Engineering, their schedule tends to be pretty prescriptive in terms of the classes that you take, regardless of your interest in the different fields of engineering. So if you're interested in biomedical or mechanical, your classes might end up looking pretty similar as you enter the field of engineering and kind of get that solid foundation to help build on your coursework for later. So sorry that we can't answer that specifically for you, Michael. The College of Engineering provides a lot of great information about coursework to their students when they come for orientation in the middle of July. So I'm sure you could get a good idea when you're here for orientation then. Okay, so Michael had a follow-up question. So what are some common electives that students can take? Oh my gosh, I feel like I've hardly ever heard somebody say they've taken the same elective twice because of the amount of electives that there are. And I know Sarah Catherine has said it a couple of times, but it really depends on what you're interested in learning more about. I was talking with one of our orientation leaders this week, and she took a beekeeping course here. So you may think some of those classes are made up and not real, but we do have a beekeeping class here at NC State. What are some other courses that maybe you've taken for electives?
There's a lot of communication courses that are offered. I know a lot of first year students sometimes take things like public speaking. There's just a lot of options.
I think some of it, kind of what Sarah Catherine may be alluding to, is thinking about maybe what are some long-term skills or interests that you want to build upon. A lot of people love history, so maybe there are some history classes that you want to take that may not be directly related to your major, but they're something that you love and you enjoy. So that's a great way to fill some of those elective classes for you. Or public speaking is always a great skill to develop that can help you as you go out more into the professional world. So that's always a great way to think of your approach when considering electives.
And it's also just a chance to kind of explore outside of your major as well, to make sure you're getting that like well-roundedness. So if you are coming in as a first-year student and you're kind of like, oh, I'm not sure that this is the right major for me, that's a good chance to explore free elective courses that fall into other discipline areas. That can be a good way to look at it as well.
Okay, well, Sarah, Catherine, and I are going to go ahead and wrap things up today. We appreciate all of you who have taken the time to join us this afternoon to learn more about new student orientation. Just to recap, remember we encourage you to register for orientation as soon as that advanced enrollment deposit is paid. And remember, if you haven't paid that yet, that can take a couple of days for that payment to be processed. You want to review the new student checklist and make sure that you're taking care of those business items that you can go ahead and tackle. A lot of those you can do when you're here at orientation, but some of those you can be working on in advance. Check your email. That's how the university will continue to communicate with you about things that you need to know or do to prepare. And then lastly, again, get excited. We're excited to have spent some time with you this afternoon, and hopefully you feel more confident and comfortable with orientation and that experience that you can be looking forward to. And you can always contact our office if something comes up. We're here to support you. We are open between 8 and 5 Monday through Friday, so feel free to either call us or reach out to us with any questions or the concerns that you can have. There are some presentations going on later today, so stick around for those if you're interested. And again, we hope you all have a great day and go Pack!
Yay!